Alright, so in this video, let's talk about a little bit about the free-to-play gear path. A lot of you guys have been asking me on Discord and on my YouTube comments about what gear you should get, what gear you guys should buy, and how you guys should transition into the next tier. So, I mean, that's a really good question. I'm surprised I didn't do a video about this. I should have done a video about this a lot sooner, because this would definitely help. This would definitely help a lot of free-to-play player. So this video will be targeted towards more free-to-play players, but if you're not free-to-play, you can still learn a lot from this video as well. So regardless, let's get into it. So let's talk about the weapons first, right? So if you were to do your main quest up to a certain point, you will be able to obtain a tier 2 plus 7 weapon. So what you want to do with that tier 2 weapon is that it's honestly pretty decent. It's honestly pretty good already. You should definitely keep it, and you should try to get that weapon up to plus 10, because once you hit plus 10, that is the boundary. You can easily get that plus 10 to plus 13, right? Plus 13 should be pretty easy. Spam a couple of normal scrolling, you should get there. So yeah, for your weapon, just do your main quest. Main quest give you a free tier 2 weapon, and you can just enhance that later. Right, and also at Mercantile 465, that is when you get a tier 4 weapon. All right, tier 4 weapon. So you guys should be set. I mean, with the tier 2 weapon should be able to get you that tier 4 weapon guaranteed. So shouldn't be too hard. So with the weapons out of the way, let's go into the helmet, chest, and gloves. So for these 3 sets, right? As a free-to-play player, what you guys probably have purple gear probably, and that's completely fine. But from purple gear, from purple tier 1 or tier 3, it doesn't matter. You will want to transition into a tier 3 legendary gear. You want to transition straight to tier 3. I mean, you can actually buy, I mean, depending on the price, right? So let me take a look at the market for NA 1. Let's take a look at armor. Yeah, honestly, dude. Okay, so what you guys want to do in NA1, I mean, not in one, but all servers, is that from your, because you're going to start off with purple gear, right? So from your purple gear, you're going to want to transition into T1 legendary gear. So make sure you buy a full set of T1 legendary gear. It is so cheap. There's no way you can't afford it. Like in NA1, they're all like below 2 mil, so it's pretty nuts. No one's selling this on max, so I'm pretty sure it should almost be the same thing applied to all servers as well. Tier 1 legend should be cheap, around 1 to 2 mil, so very affordable. So I would highly recommend jumping from purple to tier 1 legendary. And when you are purchasing gear, there's one thing you got to keep an eye out is, you see how it says faded? Faded means that this is a weaker version of the regular Conqueror's Robe, because the robe original name is called Conqueror's Robe, but since there is added faded, that means that this is a little bit weaker. So keep in mind. Keep an eye out for the first words when you're doing gear shopping, such as dull. Dull means that this is a weaker version of the original Conqueror's plated armor. Deadly and brilliant, these two are positive one. These two means that it has the better base stat than the original, and deadly is usually stronger than the brilliant, so keep that in mind. Sparkling, that's also a positive one. I don't know the exact order. I do know that the deadly is first. The deadly is the best in terms of basic stat compared to brilliant and a sparkling, so keep that in mind. So quick recap of where I was. From your helmet, armor, and your gloves, you want to jump from purple to T1 legendary. Once you obtain T1 legendary, the next tier for your armor set to jump is straight to tier 3. You're going to want to skip tier 2, because the difference between let me show you. The difference between tier 1 and tier 2, it's so small. It's almost not worth the investment into tier 2, right? So let's take a look at a regular one. All right, Moonlight Song Robe. As you can see, let's take this one. This one has a base stat of physical defense 89, magic defense 901. Right, so if we were to go to tier 2, Conqueror's Robe, which is next to Magician, physical defense 108 and magic defense 175. So the base stat is a small increase, but the thing that you gotta keep in mind is that also since this is a tier 2 gear, every enhance does give you higher base stats compared to a T1, but then it's not big enough to make it that much more stronger than T1, and it's not really worth it. That's what I'm trying to say. Therefore, I wouldn't recommend buying tier 2 at all. I'll honestly just buy tier 1, and then just from tier 1, you want to do the jump from tier 1 to tier 3. And then from tier 3, right? So tier 3, the one thing that you want is the tuba, right? What's this called? Tubakin's robe or something. I don't honestly, I'm just calling it tuba. So the tuba is the set armor that you want for tier 3. Tuba is the best set, it's the best tier 3 armor in the game. So that is what you want to aim for. You want to get one of this. As you can see, the physical defense and magic defense has been improved, and every time you enhance it, it's actually crazy. It's actually a pretty large amount. So I'll definitely recommend you guys to buy the tuba for tier 3 as a free-to-play player, because I mean, even for me, right? I jumped from tier 3 gears to tier 4, but but that was like quite early onto the game, right? I didn't realize that tuba was that great of an armor, and also tuba was quite rare back then in my server. But as you can see, currently there is a tuba robe, and then there's a tuba plated armor. I mean, they are quite expensive, but trust me, they are definitely worth it. I would not recommend you guys jumping from tier 1 legendary or tier 2 legendary into tier 4 legendary, because the issue with a tier 4 legendary is that if you're a free-to-play player and you want to obtain a tier 4 gear, it's going to take you at least 1 month of grinding for all the resources to obtain that tier 4 piece. Maybe even longer than a month. It's a minimum of 1 month depending on how hard you grind on this game. And another issue is that with the price, because like, okay, so if you look at the current market right now, right, let's break down the price for that. So if you look at the current market, let's say materials, loot. All right, so how much is this? All right, so let's just say, I mean, I know that in different servers these are selling for min, so let's just take this as min, right? So min amount is 88 mil, right, to get this, and that doesn't account for all of the other resources you have to get, because you're going to have to be buying all of this, the accessories, which for gloves and also helmet, this one's needed for glove and helmet. And look at them, they're like, even okay, so I know in your server they're probably min. On NA1, our purple gear is actually selling, our purple loot is actually selling quite decently. But even in your other servers, right? So if we add this all up, it's probably going to take you 150 mil. If that is based on all minimum pricing of everything that you need to get in this game to craft a T for 150 mil. Do you know what you can do with 150 mil? You can get a tuba, tier 3 tuba helmet, tier 3 armor, tier 3 glove, all these 3 on the tuba set, which is the best of the best, which should cost around I mean, even with these, I mean, currently my server, they're not even sold for 30 mil. So you still have, if you were to buy this at 30 mil in A1, you still have 60 mil left over to spend on a cape, a accessory, and all the other stuff, right? So this is why I highly recommend you guys, if you're a free-to-play player, I would not aim for tier 4. Trust me, it's not worth it. It's definitely not worth the sacrifice and amount of time to acquire to hit T4, because you're gonna be very slow. You're gonna be unable to clear the current content of where you're at right now if you try to save up for T4 gear, because it's gonna take you so long. Therefore, that is why I'm telling you guys it's best to jump from T1 legendary straight into T3 legendary. The tuba armor preferred. Definitely aim for the tuba. The tuba is the best tier 3 legendary helmet, armor, and glove set. So that's all for your armor. Actually, no. Eventually, you will want tier 4, right? So after you obtain the tier 3 set, that is when you can actually start to look for upgrades for tier 4 after you finish your whole entire set. So actually, I'll talk about that more later. So next up, we have the cape. So for cape, you okay. So I remember in the cape, they gave you, I think it was it's either a blue or purple cape they give it for free. But honestly, dude, you can rock that cape, but eventually you will want to aim for a upgrade, right? So we have the boulders cloak as well right here. So but that is not the best cape. The best cape currently is the Radiance cloak. So for some reason, the Radiant cloak, it was actually cheaper on my server, but it has a higher base stat. So that was pretty nuts. I mean, a Radiant cloak and a Boulder's cloak, they're both tier 1 legendary, but the Radiant's cloak, it has a higher base stat. So I'll definitely aim for that cloak instead. Let me see what cloaks are on sale. Armor, cloak, yep. Okay, so there's no legendary cloak on sale, but you know, usually the pricing is probably around 10 mil. I'll say, give or take, it's probably around 10 mil on your server. Probably, I mean, on my server currently, anyways. But should be around that for your server as well. So, your first job, your first gear transition is to transition into a T1 legendary Radiant or the Baldur's cloak. But just keep in mind that the Radiant is better than Baldur's. Its base stat is a little bit higher. But regardless, if you can't find a Radiant, a Baldur's will do just fine, as they both have the same options. So, and then from there, you're good. You honestly do not need a tier 2 or a tier 3 cape, because trust me, it's not worth the money for the basic stat difference it makes. So it's definitely not worth it. I'll just stick with T1 until T4. So, all right, next up we have the accessories, right? So for the accessories, I'm running the Boulder's necklace, and the earrings, I'm running the Boulder's earrings, along with the Boulder's ring, and this one is my Herald of Moonlight ring. So before I got this tier 4, I was running full T1 legendary Boulder sets. So honestly, dude, this was the best set to get at the time, was a T1 legendary ring. Do not get a T2 ring at all. T2 ring or T3 ring that's in the market, they're not worth it. Let me see if I can find an example for you guys. So right here we have the Tupakin's ring. As you can see, 79 mil for a ring. For this ring, it is not worth it. It is not worth the tier 3 ring for the amount of money, because this is like around 80 mil when you can get this ring for like around 20 mil. This one's much cheaper, and is just better overall, because from that point on, you can just save the rest of your money for T4 ring. Do not get T2. Do not get this T2 ring. You don't, trust me, is not needed at all. Actually, at one point, this ring was actually cheaper than the Boulder's ring. So that would be the only time that I would think it was worth buying, because actually right now the price is actually pretty similar. 23 mil, and this one's 27 mil. Honestly, dude, if this is this, I mean, for prices like what, 4 mil? Okay, so if in your server it's like mine, where the Akubin's ring is similar pricing to the Boulders, then yeah, buying the Accurate rings might be pretty good, because the main difference is that it does give you, the Accurate ring has a 75 on base stat, and then the Boulders ring has 65. So it's only a 10% increase, but they can if you do want that extra 10 base attack increase, but that's not all. That's only base attack increase. If you were to enhance it, the attack gets even higher, right? There's a difference in the amount of attack that per enhance per tier level. So for 4 mil difference, honestly, dude, the Accubin ring is definitely worth it, because if you were to enhance this twice, it's gonna be much higher than 94. This might be looking at like around, like, I think 120 or even higher. So it's pretty worth it. If it's like around a 4 to 5 mil difference, I'll say. That's for my server. But definitely do not buy the tuba. Even though this is a tuba ring, you do not buy this. 100% do not buy this. for its price, it's definitely not worth it. You can almost get you can almost get, like, I'm not even kidding, that's like halfway to like a tier 4 ring, so definitely not worth it. Someone is selling this ring, but then again, I don't see a point in buying this ring. Trust me, you guys can just craft for yourself. The price, you can craft this ring for half of what he's selling for, so it's just absolutely no way. Definitely do not buy this ring, right? So same thing applies for, so everything I talked about the ring, the same thing actually applies for your earrings as well, right? So for earrings, the boulder earrings will do just fine. Oh wait, but I forgot about the new edition of the shabby. So honestly, dude, so guys, hold up, let me do a check on shabby earring, because I forgot if the shabby earrings has HP drain, because I know that the boulder earring has HP drain. That's the reason why that I bought the boulder's earrings. All right, so I'm looking at the current database that was provided. So you guys probably can see this. Shabby. Oh god. Zoom out, zoom out. All right, I think that's much easier for you guys to read. Okay. Yikers. All right, come on, guys. Computer, please. Okay, stop. Jesus Christ, dude. My computer is so delayed. Alright, you know what? I'm just gonna refresh this whole page. What the hell? Alright. Zoom. There we go. This one's much better. 150%. 200%. Alright, we're good enough. Chill. Stop moving. Alright, nice. Now we do Control F. Let's go find our shabby earrings again. Shabby. Shabby sapphire earrings right there. Perfect. So take a look at this. Agility, charisma, constitution, go acquire HP gen, intelligence, magic defense, physical. Okay, yeah, so there's no HP drain, so definitely not worth it, because as you can see with the current the Shire, right, they starting to drop these shabby sapphire earrings and accessories. They're really cheap, so I thought maybe that these might be better, but looking at the database now, this is definitely not worth it, because it does have HP drain, right? The boulder set does have HP drain, therefore this one's much more better. But let's take a look at, we want to see if the shabby necklace, right? So why don't we go back to accessories? Let's go to rings. So pretty sure there's a shabby ring, right? Yeah, there we go. The shabby sapphire ring. Alright, let's look it up. Back onto our database. Let's go down. Shabby copper ring. Alright, sapphire ring, agility, constitution, crit damage. Alright, it does have the primary stat that is needed. Crit damage. Crit chance. Better have crit chance here. Magic attack, physical attack, nice. It doesn't have crit chance? Are you kidding me? It has crit damage. Let me double check. Maybe I'm not reading it right. It doesn't have crit chance. Wow. So, okay, honestly, dude, I'm not gonna take a look at the rest of the shabbies. Yeah, okay, so I guess they're shabby for a reason. They're pretty shit. So, definitely would not get the shabby earrings. And yeah, stick with the full T1. The boulder set. So for your accessories right here, yeah, you will want to focus on getting 2 boulders ring tier 1 and 1 boulder's earring along with the boulder's necklace that I have right here. So these are the core T1 legendary set you want to get. They're very affordable. Probably, I mean, they're more expensive obviously compared to the rest. They're like around 20 or 30 mil. Actually around 25 mil on my server right now, so depending on your server. Yeah, so once you have all of that, so once you have your T4 dagger, your 3 sets of T3 armor set, a T1 radiant or boulder's cloak, and then your 4 accessories, all T1 boulder's accessory. Once you have that, that is when you can start upgrading, start transition from your current set into a full T4 set. Like that's what I did, right? So as you can see, I have the B1 accessory. I'm currently in the process of transferring my cape right now, and then eventually I'll work on my accessories. So when you want to transition into T4 set, you do have to keep in mind you want to focus on your depending, right, the ring or armor, right? Those are the two first T4 you should be crafting right now, because it's personal preference. The T4 ring gives you the biggest buff because it gives you the crit damage increase by 50%. So if you are a heavy crit, like when I'm running Evasion Sculptor, I'm running full crit. I'm running like a crit build, of course, so this is very good for me. Or you can get the armor, right? The armor is very nice. It does offers you damage, defense, and additional 15 agility as with 15 charisma, which will allow you to tame higher tier pets for fun, right? Like what I have the water buffalo and black bear. I'm using them for PvP, so you can use it to tame that. Yeah, so honestly, it's up to you. It's personal preference, right? So that is when you want to upgrade a T4 ring or a T4 armor. So keep that in mind. So yeah, so that is the current free-to-play build path. So just quick recap: you want to go from purple to T1 legendary, and then skip T2 and go for T3 for your armor set. You want to go for T3 anyways, and you should be good. You stay there, and then you start to work on the rest of your gear. Your cloak, you're set with the T1 legendary boulders or T1 radiant, the ruler's cloak. Then for accessories, your goal is to get a all full 4 T1 legendary boulders, and then you're set. And when you have all that complete, then you can start looking for T4 upgrades, which will take you a while. But with the current set that you have, you should be able to pass most of the content. Like, you're pretty set, honestly. It's honestly, dude, that would be the ideal free to play, like close to endgame, right? Because then again, like I said, as a free to play, tier 4 is not very easy to get. So hopefully this video helps you guys with your build order and how to transition from one gear to the next. And if you have any more questions about it, leave in the comments. I will get to it when I have time. As well, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.